Austin Spurs. So in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, the schedule for today, San Lorenzo going up against Austin Spurs, followed by Ike and Flamengo in the title game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Well, the lights are being lowered on Friday night. The booms were lowered. Both Flamengo and, first of all, Ike won their games big time. They blew out their opponents. Ike pulling away from San Lorenzo, winning that one in decisive fashion. And Flamengo followed that up and really ran Austin Spurs out of the gym. So we're looking for a very good game in that final. But for this one, the third place game, it's always about, you don't want to leave the tournament on the back of a win. You want to be able to go back home at least with some good taste in your mouth. And a win for Austin tonight would put them back on the plane, going back up to Texas, certainly feeling much better about themselves. And likewise, for San Lorenzo in neighboring Argentina, they would like to sign off with at least a third place finish in this FIBA Intercontinental Cup. So the players are being introduced, and it's hard to really highlight anybody from the Austin Spurs team the other night of having had a great game. I know that Amida Brima certainly had his share of block shots. He might have been their headline player. And overall, it's just a team that has to dust themselves off, get up off the canvas, so to speak, and come back swinging. It's the nature of sport. In reality, a 1-point loss is like a 35-point loss. You lose or you win, and if they can get a win today, they will feel much better about themselves. DeJuan Blair coming out, you could see, interestingly, for Austin Spurs, he will be playing against a team, San Lorenzo, that he actually played for last season for a couple of months. Dar Tucker had his moments the other night for this San Lorenzo team, and perhaps if he'd been able to make a few more shots early on, they had a good enough start, but they just weren't really able to press home the advantage against Ike. And once Ike got on top of them, there was no turning back, and really that was the same for Flamengo. Both teams were far better on both sides of the floor. It is hard to get up sometimes for a third place game, but for San Lorenzo, they know that a lot of their fans, you can see them line up there behind their bench, have traveled to follow them here, and they owe it to them to go out and to get that win today. And certainly for Austin Spurs, representing the United States, they would like to at least leave this place with a victory. Well, you know, in the long history of the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, Real Madrid have won the most titles among all the teams that have taken part in this competition with 5. 8 of the last 10 Intercontinental Cups have been won by European teams. Only Flamengo have won the Intercontinental Cup among the 4 teams that are playing at this event. That was back in 2014 when they beat Maccabi Tel Aviv. Interestingly enough as well, with Ike playing later, Greek teams have won the title in their only 2 appearances in the Intercontinental Cup. Panathinaikos in '96 and Olympiacos in 2013. Referees from Mexico, Slovenia, and Germany: Omar Bermudez, Boris Krejci, and Karsten Straube. And the roster for Austin Spurs: Maverick Rowan, Jeff Kobe, Richard Bader, Devin Bookert, Dimitri McCamey, Cameron Rundles, Jordan Green, Josh Eustace, Amida Brima, and DeJuan Blair, coached by Daniel Blake Ahern. And Richard Bader, McCamey, Green, Eustace, and Brima will be in that starting 5 for Austin. And for Gonzalo Garcia's San Lorenzo team, the club that's won the last 3 domestic titles in Argentina, and also the Liga de las Americas. That's how they qualify for this. There you see Coach Ahern. Austin Spurs qualified by virtue of winning the G League last year. So for San Lorenzo, it'll be Ramon Clemente, Dart Tucker, Diego Logrippo, Donald Sims, Marcos Mata, Nicolas Aguirre, Maximo Fiora, Jose Vidotha, Matthias Calfani, Joel Anthony, and Jerome Mayence. And it's Gonzalo Garcia that's the coach. See Dart Tucker, who plays for Jordan's national team in the World Cup qualifiers. Marcos Mata, an Argentinian international. Aguirre, Calfani, who hails from Uruguay. And he's a Uruguay international, in fact. And Jerome Mayence played his college basketball at Virginia. For the Cavaliers, there's Gonzalo Garcia, who on the right, who's the head coach. Well, it's not going to happen this year, but the Maryland Terrapins, back when college teams played, actually in the Intercontinental Cup, 1974. That's the last time the USA team, or AUS team rather, excuse me, has won the Intercontinental Cup. And John Lucas was in that team. Terrific point guard. Outstanding tennis player as well, you might remember. And of course, this is the Carioca 1 Arena where the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics were held. And that was a rather eventful tournament, especially for fans of Argentina who came in huge numbers to watch their national team play. And they watched them beat Brazil, in fact, in a double overtime thriller here in the Carioca 1 in their preliminary round game. And Argentina fell to the USA. The reason why there were so many Argentinians, not only because it was next door, but obviously that was pretty much the end of the golden generation, Manu Ginobili's last run with the national team. As well as Andres Nocioni.
Presenting now the 5 starters of Austin Spurs, apresentando os 5 titulares de cada time. Austin Spurs, 12, Travis Bader, 15, Dimitri McCamey, number 30, Jordan Green, 34, Josh Hughes, and 37, Amida Primahan.
Well, what could happen, that would be a huge plus for San Lorenzo, would be to get a better game out of Nicolas Aguirre, who's a former MVP in Argentina's, he played in all 3 of those title-winning teams for San Lorenzo the last few years, but he was a non-factor the other night. Really just never got it going. Showed flashes early on, as did the rest of the team. But Aguirre, when it was all said and done, 3 of 9 from the floor, 7 points. Missed all 3 of his shots from three-point range. Got 5 rebounds, a couple of assists, but 4 turnovers. So his assist-to-turnover ratio was not good. He had a couple of steals as well. Number 55, Mayence, actually won the Intercontinental Cup in 2014 as a member of the Flamingo side. He'll be going up against Amida Brima. Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching. This is Rio de Janeiro, and it is the third place game at the FIBA Intercontinental Cup. And it's between Austin Spurs in white and San Lorenzo and the blue and red. Tucker with a pump fake. Both teams obviously coming off losses, but heavy losses on Friday night. Started well. Each team started well in their defeats. That's an early foul on McCamey. There's Mayentz. Gets blocked by Brima. Probably does that better than any player at this tournament. He gets up there and swats shots. Terrific rim protector. Just like he used to do it back in the college days at UConn. 25 years of age now. And Mayentz doesn't get the rebound per se, but slaps it out to Mata. And Eldar Tucker takes it out. Well, interestingly, Hustis reaches in and comes up with a steal. You would have thought maybe Dar Tucker would have tried to go past Brima. McCamey pulls up and misses. Marcos Mata. Oh, beautiful pass. Oh, and Brima somehow still came from behind and swatted Mayentz. And now he goes to the other end. And the alley-oop jam. Goodness gracious, what a start for Amita Brima. Aguirre launches it and misses, and Mayentz probably can't quite believe that he didn't get the dunk, but Brima has shown, if there's anything he's shown in this Intercontinental Cup, it is the ability to protect that rim. Hustis. Mata and just grazes the outside of the net. So cold start for the team from Argentina. And another attempt here for Austin Spurs to get another basket. Maybe you want to go inside to Brima again. Green had really good flashes of play the other night. Forces that one up with the shot clock winding down. Now Dar Tucker crosses midcourt. I remember Dar Tucker, if you're watching in America, from his days at DePaul University. Calfany probably came out as well with some credit from the game the other night. Thought he did pretty well against Ike. So there's Tucker, rims out, but Brima doesn't corral it. Ball goes out of bounds, so it'll stay down at this end of the court. And the Carioca 1. Arena. And Mata! Well, that's his reputation, being able to stroke the three-pointer, and he does. McCamey over the rim and goes out of bounds. It was a tough shooting night for Austin, and so far, more of the same tonight. In the semifinal, they just could not make their shots, especially from deep. There's Dart Tucker getting past, and oh, goodness me, did you see that? Ball hung on the rim. It seemed like for an eternity, and finally came out. I think Brima got a hand on it. Another one stays out, but you got a feeling once one or two goes in for this team, they're just it's gonna be like an avalanche. They're certainly due for a few of their three balls to go in. There's Mata, and that time too long, but the long rebound goes out and goes off of Tucker and out of bounds. San Lorenzo didn't shoot it that well themselves the other night from three-point range. They only hit 3 of 19, and Mata was 1 of 6, so he's already got an improvement on that form, although he just missed that one. So they were 3 of 19 from three-point range, San Lorenzo, and Aguirre with the foul. Austin Spurs were 4 of 20 from three-point range. Brima goes in and gets the contact with, I think they're going to call it on Mayence. So, good start by Brima.
First personal foul of number 12, Spurs.
So Bader picks up the foul. And it's a low-scoring start here. Calfany is off the hands of Mayence. And Jordan Green turns, misses, but at least draws the foul.
Segunda falta pessoal de Mayence, número 55 de São Lourenço.
He's 25 years of age, Jordan Green, plays at Texas A&M. He was a member of the Austin Spurs team that won the G League last year. Calfany gets down low. Good quick hands by Bader. And the follow, and I believe that was Mayence. And good rejection that time by Mayence on McCamey. Now Aguirre. Bounce pass, gets it back, puts it up. Mayence with the board. Aguirre just probably desperate to see that ball go through the hoop. And this time Brima goes up and gets another block. Austin Spurs have had a tough year in the G League to this point in the Western Conference. They travel with a 16-20 record. Of course, they had expected to have Travis Trice, but he got a call up by the USA national team to prepare for their World Cup qualifiers, and Green gets the basket and puts them up 8-5. Quick answer there for Mata. Now quickly again it goes, and Calfany fouled. Good catch. The pass from Aguirre is right on the money, wasn't it?
Substituição na equipe de São Lourenço, entrando o número 5 e o número 50, saindo o número 7 e o número 6. Na equipe do Alce, saindo o número 34 e 37, entrando o número 6 e o número 45.
Calfany misses the first one. One player in the game. Passes back outside to Kobe, who's come in, and Jeff Kobe misses. And the drive and the miss. And gets his own rebound. Dar Tucker. Calfany thought about launching it. Calfany goes! That's why you see him make that shot, and it just reinforces why his free throw was so bad his first attempt a minute ago, because he's a decent shooter. Jordan Green attacking the basket, blocked by Tucker, and fouled. Odota checks into the game. Inside the 2-minute mark now here in the first quarter. Green, beautiful bounce pass to Blair. I think Blair chose the wrong side of the hoop to put the ball up. Should have gone up on the left side. Watch this. Put it on a platter for him. Green's thinking I should have had an assist there. Joel Anthony also in the game. Now playing, drawing the foul there. So he will, Canada International, two-time NBA champ, gets his first point of the game. And speaking of Brima blocking so many shots, Joel Anthony for San Lorenzo was just incredible with his shot blocking. in their game against Ike. But it was all for naught as they lost that game. But right now, San Lorenzo up 12-8. Joel Anthony's been a terrific ambassador for Canada, whether it's been in the league, playing for Canada in the World Cup qualifiers. And Blair, nice mid-range jump shot. Maverick Rowan's going to check in on the next dead ball. Sims misses. Anthony knocked it out, but Green's got it, and he goes up, and Anthony, you see the explosive leaping, but he blocked that one after it went off the backboard, so that's goaltending. Goal interference. Well, one player that's turned it up today has been Green, so he's bringing a spark. He's now taking a seat, going out, replaced by Maverick Rowan. And beautiful alley-oop pass to Anthony. Hails from the United States, born in Gaffney, South Carolina. Played at Appalachian State University. He's now 31 years of age. Those free throws give it a 4-point lead here to San Lorenzo, and the final seconds ticking off the clock here at the end of the first quarter. Rundles hands it off to Blair. Now Blair keeps it. He's going to put it up. And that's how it finishes. At the end of one, it's San Lorenzo leading it 16-12 over Austin Spurs in the third place game at the FIBA Intercontinental Cup. Well, three-point shooting so far not a huge factor, as you can see from those quick stats. That's what we like to call those. You put them up as quickly as possible and take them down. But San Lorenzo, 16 rebounds for them. They are winning that battle, just 8 for Austin, where Austin have done well. Has been with Brima getting in there and protecting the rim with, and also he had that dunk. He's got 3 blocks. And right now, San Lorenzo as well have 3 blocks with Mayence Tucker and that Joel Anthony block. It's Marcos Mata, Calfany, each with 5 points, and Joel Anthony, who's just come into the game and played only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. He's got 4 points to this stage for San Lorenzo. And Aguirre still has yet to get it going offensively, point scoring wise anyway. He does have a couple assists and 3 rebounds, but he's 0-2 from the floor. For Austin, 6 points for Jordan Green. Here he is with the ball and following up his miss and going up. So he's got 6 points to lead the way. 4 points for Brima. We saw one of his dunks, and 2 on the jump shot from DeJuan Blair. Well, we're glad to have you with us on this fine Sunday, wherever you are. This is the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, the third place game between San Lorenzo in the dark uniforms and Austin Spurs from the G League in the white. Now, the second quarter action underway. Fierro up missing with the jumper. Now Austin have it. Rundles goes baseline. And that time Brima, again, should have done better. Fierro goes up. Oh, he tried to dunk it. Good hustle down the floor, though. Sims has it. I think it was Bader that hustled back on D, and now it's going to be Rundles. And he gets rejected by Joel Anthony. You can't take the weak stuff up, boys. You're going to get punished. Now Sims, good! 3-pointer. Great hustle on defense for both teams. And then Sims has the final say, and it's a 7-point lead for San Lorenzo. Bounce pass to Blair. And shot clock went off. Looking at it, looked like he almost just had enough time, but he was kind of fumbling the ball. You can see how even now Joel Anthony has just got such an explosive leap that if you are not going up strong or picking your moments, he's going to block the shot. I mean, he is incredible. He's got 2 blocks now. Oh, nice pass inside to Clemente, who kind of lost his footing, it looked like. Then got a little bit of control and went up for it, but missed it. McCamey with the bounce pass again, gets away. It's the right idea going to Brima. Brings together countries, on this occasion, 4 different countries. Ike from Athens, Greece. Spurs from the United States, Texas. And obviously here in Flamingo with the Rio de Janeiro, and then San Lorenzo from Argentina. And the miss by Vildoza, but it'll be San Lorenzo ball. And there's nothing like getting a title in the middle of the season. This is a cup weekend for a lot of competitions in Europe. Cup finals being played right now, and obviously in the NBA they've got the All-Star break. Nice drive, and the basket was good by Bader. Played a little bit better tonight than the other night. Oh, beautiful passing from San Lorenzo. Now quickly Bader pulls up. Piotr up, left open, good. He plays for Argentina's national team in the World Cup qualifiers. So Figueroa up, knocks it in. And McCamey misses. He was short, and the ball goes out of bounds. Just Austin Spurs just aren't clicking offensively. I mean, they've actually made some plays where they've gotten, they should have had some good shots, or they've had good shots and they've missed them, or as we've seen on occasion, give and goes, or with Brima, for example, cutting into the lane but not being able to pick up the ball. But it could be the pass wasn't perfect. Here's McCamey. So that's a shot they should hit with Bader, but he misses, and Sims comes up with it now. Sims gets it out to the corner. Figueroa up. He was open. McCamey picks up his second foul. Vildoza is going to inbound it. Figueroa goes up, and Clemente couldn't quite grab it. So it's Jordan Green instead to McCamey. Uses his body well and scores. Much better from McCamey. We saw some razzle-dazzle from him the other night against Flamingo. Slick behind the back pass that time. Used his body well as he got inside. Knew the contact would come. Anthony can get up, but Vildoza put it up just that little bit too high for him. Eustace into the corner, wide open Bader, finally knocks it in. He's a good shooter. He breathes a sigh of relief as he watches the ball go through the hoop. And San Lorenzo called timeout.
Olha pra ela primeiro. Olhe pra ela. Isso. Agora fala assim pra ela. Eu te amo. Fala, eu te amo. Vai, garoto. Beijo com barba.
Toma esta posición acá. Y no está el pase. No está el pase. Sigan en drible. No hace falta que hagamos. Y después, como un tren para atrás, viejo. Balance defensivo. Quedamos mirando el balón. Allá para atrás. Lo único que hacen es correr.
Great job down here. Guards back to back. Get physical. Keep pushing in transition. If we get a walk up, all right, I want to go 3 side for Travis. All right, walk up. If not, pick, keep playing. Here we go.
See Bader there, getting a drink of water. He's a career 36.8% shooter from three-point range. Hitting this season, though, just 25%, or 0.25%. So it's been a tough season for him. Played his college basketball at Oakland. Played NCAA 3, Grizzlies, and now he's in the G League. But it was back, in fact, it was the year that Flamengo won this Intercontinental Cup that Bader set the mark for three-point field goal attempts in a career with 1,198 during a 86-71 win over Illinois Chicago. In that February, ball goes out of bounds. So it goes back over to Austin Spurs. But in his senior year at Oakland, he shot it 40.8%. So he was drilling a lot of three-pointers. In fact, his freshman year was his best year at Oakland, percentage-wise, 44.3%. Here he is again, getting open. And that's a game changer if he starts knocking in those shots. So San Lorenzo perhaps riding their luck a little bit right now. With Bader not hitting him. Good pump fake. Calfany. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. But right now, Bader's just 1 of 6 from three-point range. Actually hails from the great state of Michigan. Bader. Oh, behind the back pass, and then Anthony got a taste of his own medicine. He met 2 Austin Spurs players' arms as he went up, and you got to give the credit to Hustis on that one. Man, that was terrific defense by Hustis. The phrase "not in my house" comes to mind on that one, and now Hustis goes to the other end and dunks it right in the grill of Calfany. Look at this. Well, you know what they say, you make a defensive play, and then you immediately go to the other end and do something on the offense. And for him, it was a spectacular play going right down the lane and dunking it with both hands. Potential three-point play now for Hustis. But he misses, and Austin remain a point down. Good hustle from Brima. And that means the ball will remain with Austin. 14 seconds on the shot clock. 4:05 to go in the second quarter. The proceedings started to come to life a little bit here. With Bader and Hustis picking things up. He gets it to Eustace. He turns, scores, and Austin Spurs have taken the lead. Alley-oop pass, and this time Anthony is fouled by Green. Kobe comes back into the game. He likes the way this game is starting to turn. Maybe he'll get his chance to shine. Right now it's Anthony trying to calm things down here for his team. He ties it up at 23. I would think he would definitely have a shot at playing for Canada this summer. He's played in the World Cup qualifiers. And he makes both free throws, and clearly, defensively, his rim protection is terrific. You would think he would have a chance, a good chance, to make that Canada national team, but Canada are going to have so many options. It's going to be interesting to see who they end up taking to the World Cup when it's played in China, tipping off in August. Right now, we got a timeout on the court. And in fact, while I had that moment, as you look at the bench points, 14 for San Lorenzo, just 2 for Austin Spurs. The World Cup qualifiers will be coming up this week, the final window. Remember, there have been 6 windows for the World Cup qualifiers. And this will be the 6th and final window. So there's still 14 spots that are still to be filled. See Austin Spurs with 14 points in the paint. They're doing a lot of damage inside. Still 14 spots of the 32 spots to be filled for the World Cup. So a lot of action to be keeping your eyes on this week. Joel Anthony is in that squad that's going to play in this window coming up for Canada. He's playing against Chile and Venezuela. So exciting times for basketball lovers everywhere. Ball goes out of bounds. Eustace. Now Dart Tucker. Tucker. Ball goes out of bounds. And I expect Tucker to play for Jordan in their World Cup qualifier. They've got 2 games that'll be coming up. And right now they're on the outside of the qualifying looking in, but they've got a chance to qualify. Penetration, and Tucker, good move, didn't have to finish. And the follow, and a foul called on Austin. Well, they called the foul on Eustace. He didn't like the call, but he definitely lowered his arms. Aguirre is back in the game for San Lorenzo. Here's Mayence. Makes the first. So speaking of Dart Tucker here for this San Lorenzo team, if you know, he'll play for Jordan. They'll host both of their games in Amman, and they'll be at home against China, and then they'll take on New Zealand. And both of those will be, I would anticipate, very difficult games. But it'll be a time for him to shine. Lance with 2 points, and San Lorenzo now up by 3. Ball goes out to Kobe. He hands it off to Bader. Booker gets it to Kobe. Kobe turns now the ball into the hands of Tucker. And Dar Tucker drives. And are they going to count it? Yes, they are. Austin looking for a travel, but watch this. Oh, I think he did. It did look like he took an extra step there at the end. Anyway, I think that might be what Ahern is saying. It was almost as if he kind of like was struggling to stay on his feet. But Tucker will take what he gets, and he makes, nope, he misses the free throw. DeJuan Blair with the rebound. Booker, he's got a nice touch. I noticed that the other night when he came in and played. He didn't play that much against Flamengo, but that could be an option they need to start going to more. Booker, he gets it back to 28-25. First basket of the game. Mance. Now he loses it into the hands. He fumbles the ball to DeJuan Blair. Booker looks like he's maybe not 100% though, the way he's moving out there. DeJuan Blair fakes the handoff, goes hard to the basket. Now Calfany grabs the rebound, hands it off to Aguirre. Mata pulls up and misses from deep. See, Mata himself for that last possession. Offensively, Blair. And now the turnover. And Mata just lays it up and in after picking the pocket of Green. Oh, a beautiful finish. Follow through rather there from Booker. Write it down. You heard it here. They need to get him the ball and let him put it up. They have struggled for points. And it looks like he feels it. Aguirre missed it. Just kind of flung it up there. It didn't look like it had a chance to go in. Matt is scrapping away for the rebound. Aguirre, just his whole demeanor and everything just doesn't look quite right. Well, Booker's 26 years of age. Played his college basketball at Florida State. He's one of those players that hails from Alaska, Anchorage. So he traded into the cold for the Heat and still is playing in the Heat down in Austin. So we've got a 7.8 seconds left here in the half. Jordan Green's going to inbound it in front of the San Lorenzo bench. Booker's got it. That's going to be Bader. Looks like Bader's going to launch it. I just don't get that. You got Booker, who's been, anyway, showing that he can knock it down. San Lorenzo 30, Austin Spurs 27 at halftime. Well, San Lorenzo have gotten to the line a lot more. They're 9 of 11, and they're also 3 of 10 from deep. Bader's one make from long range is it for Austin. Also, from a rebounding standpoint, that battle still being won by San Lorenzo. And 8 assists to 6 for Austin.
Veio lá de Mato Grosso do Sul para dar show para essa galera na arquibancada.
Austin with those 5 blocks. Here are the individual leaders. So Mata right now leads all scorers with 7 points. Brima has 3 blocks, and Blair has 3 steals. So this is the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, and we are at halftime of the 3rd place game. It's San Lorenzo leading at 30-27 over Austin Spurs. Enjoy the highlights. We'll be right back for the start of the second half.
Pode aplaudir, torcedor, pode aplaudir. Jogada em marcação cerrada da equipe do Austin Spurs.
Well, it's 30-27. San Lorenzo on top of Austin Spurs at halftime in the third place game. And Austin Spurs looking for that lift. They've got arguably, certainly one of the all-time great three-point shooters in NCAA history in Travis Bader, who played for Oakland University, the Grizzlies up in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and hit more than 500 threes in his career, which is incredible when you think about how many times the ball is going through the hoop from long range. And he wasn't just a great three-point shooter, but it was like 5 years ago when he passed J.J. Redick for the record number of three-pointers. And he had a wonderful career. But anyway, here with this Austin Spurs team, the shots just haven't been falling for him here in Rio de Janeiro, and maybe we'll see a change of that in the second half. But certainly Devin Bookert, who hails from Alaska, has come out and shown something, although it looks like he's perhaps not 100%. He's got like a niggling injury or something. Didn't seem to be moving around as well as he could. He was outstanding in his Florida State days. And maybe he'll be a source of points as well, but got to play some good defense, got to rebound perhaps a little bit more, maybe try to get to the free throw line a little bit more, and you just, name of the game is also putting the ball in the basket, and that's where Austin have really struggled in this FIBA Intercontinental Cup. So Bader's still out there. He has actually played in Europe as well. Here's Green going hard to the basket and earning a trip to the line. That's what I'm talking about. Be aggressive, even though you know a great shot blocker's in there like Anthony. He was guarded, almost being pushed a little bit by Tucker, and Tucker picks up the foul, and Green has been overall pretty solid today. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Both free throws are good. Played a lot of minutes in his days at Texas A&M. Was never really a big scorer, though. Mata hands it off to Aguirre, and Aguirre scores a rare basket. Bader, over to Hustis. Puts it up. Brima was boxed out by Anthony. Calfini. Oh, he hands it off. Oh, and just Joel Anthony this time says, I'm going to go up, avoid the block, and throw it down with 2 hands. A little bit of power. Green again drives to the basket, and he will go to the line. So at least he's getting some free throws. He was mad at himself for not making the layup. That was Anthony's dunk at the other end. So Green's made the first one. Well, Aguirre comes. Comes off to Calfany, and now it's back with Tucker. Mata. Hands it off to Calfany. And Green this time had a good look. Mata, bounce pass over to Calfany. Now into Anthony. Mata. The team starting cold here. Cammy misses. Anthony knocks it over to his teammates. Aguirre pushes it up the court. Calfany, what a bounce pass and finish by Anthony. It's 2 dunks in the quarter for him. No rotation there as the double team came, and they're going to have to talk about that over there on the Spurs bench.
Apareceu no telão, manda tchau pra gente.
See the frustration there for Austin, just not on the same page, the players defensively. So coming out of the timeout, Austin Spurs getting it down low to Brima. See how they do defensively now after talking about it. McCamey's pass knocked away, and it leads to an easy one for Nicolas Aguirre. Eustace from long range, it rims out. Eustace was a first-round pick back in 2014, late first round by Oklahoma City. There's Calfany, hands it off to Anthony. He gets blocked again by Brima. And Bader still can't get it to go. Only had 1 make today from three-point range. Little runner from Aguirre. He's going to inbound it. So Austin seemed to be finding themselves a little bit, their rhythm with Green and everything, but then the follow no good. But this time Eustace does. Maybe that'll set him back on the right path. was about to say they seem to have lost their chemistry, their rhythm with that defensive confusion, but now the behind-the-back pass turns it over, leads to a transition bucket. No, the block from behind, and then the block again, 2 blocks in a row from San Lorenzo. And Tucker drills the 3, and boy, that is a backbreaker, really. If you're Austin Spurs, you had 2 chances to come away with 2 points. You don't score, and then Tucker drills a 3. Well, so fortunately, Green, staying tough mentally, goes in, scores. Anthony got the second block. Calfini got the first block on that sequence. And now Tucker this time misses from deep. Houston just kind of fumbled it away to Calfini. Aguirre passes up to 3. And then he thought Tucker was going to pop over to the wing. So sloppy play all of a sudden for both teams. That was McCamey, and then Anthony is just a beast when it comes to protecting the rim. Rundles. Nice finish by him. Pass whipped over. Sims. Another 3-pointer for him. Eustace gets it in the paint. And another rebound for Anthony. I think Anthony's been one of the more impressive players in this FIBA Intercontinental Cup. And today he's got 10 points, 6 rebounds, and of course he's got 3 blocks. He's always doing something to help you win games. Mata left wide open. Now it's an 11-point lead. Dangerous moments here for Austin Spurs. And good riposte by Blair. Another jump shot from Mr. Sims. Becoming a factor today offensively. He was quiet on opening night against Ike. Blair bullying his way down there against Anthony. And then Blair throws it in the hands of Aguirre. And Sims passes it back, and the two-handed jam from Dar Tucker. Booker hustled back, but nobody else was there. And another timeout called by Austin. .21 fast break points for San Lorenzo. 12 for Austin.
para que Blair tenga más movimiento. Ya va. ¿Sí? Eso.
Well, things looking pretty good right now for San Lorenzo. 10 points apiece for Joel Anthony, Marcos Mata, and now Donald Sims, who's got 10 points in 9.5 minutes on the court. And as a team, they've hit 6 of 15 from deep, 9 of 11 at the free throw line. And now Sims reaches in and takes it away from Rundles, passes it off, gets it back. Oh boy, that is a killer. That comes out of the book of, if I'm the Austin Spurs coach, I might stop the game and make my team run wind sprints after that turnover. That was awful. And the ball goes off the hands of Blair and out of bounds. "16 points, the advantage. Devin Booker in the game. Well, San Lorenzo did not give a good account of themselves really against Ike. They were okay at the start of the game, but they've been flat, and they've obviously got a lot more fans here that have traveled from neighboring Argentina to watch this game. But I think never in their wildest imagination would, first of all, Austin have envisioned themselves losing as badly as they did against Flamingo, and now trailing by 16 points late in the third quarter against San Lorenzo. Tucker going to the free throw line. That's 3 fouls on Blair. So the free throw finally registers there on the graphic. 17-point lead, now 18. Remember, the San Lorenzo team, their title defense still alive in the DirecTV Liga de las Americas. And they'll also be going for another 4th consecutive Argentinian title. Mance guarding Blair. And he's just following up his misses. Gets it back over to Booker and hits a 3. That's a no-brainer for me. He needs to get the ball in his hands and shoot it. Sweeping drive and the finish by Tucker. Jordan Green drives in, misses. Mance gets it, hands it off to Sims. Tucker missing that one now. Aguirre back outside to Mata. Tucker's going to launch another one. Well, he must have felt it. He was asking for it, and now the lead is 20 points. And Austin Spurs on the wrong end of another big score line. Bounce pass to Blair. Goes in, scores with a reverse layup. Quick turn, ball goes out of bounds off Sims with 31.2 seconds remaining. And if you're San Lorenzo, really, you don't want to take your foot off the pedal. You've got an opportunity now, you would think, just to go out and deliver the knockout punch. Because if Austin wake up, you never know. I mean, they could maybe come back. They're down 18. But Booker If I were them, I would certainly look to get him some shots. There he is. Passes it back outside to Hustis. Green drives in. That would have counted. Sometimes it just doesn't go. Mata picks up the foul. Got to dig deep right now if you're Austin. Got to find some energy. Try to get back into this thing. Jordan Green wearing a look of frustration, perhaps just the way things have gone today, but also a tad unlucky on that one. It looked like the ball was going in and it came out. He's leading the team with 11 points. And this is the first one. And he misses two, but good job by Kobe to get it back, and they throw it inside to Amita Brime for the two-handed rim rocker. Aguirre not able to get a shot off. Good job by Green defending there. And it's 61-45. A little hope, perhaps, for Spurs at the end of the third quarter. Well, as you look at the stats, obviously the three-point shot has been huge. And if you look at, well, you won't be looking at them, but 11 points off turnovers for each team. 40 rebounds for San Lorenzo to 35 for Austin Spurs. So they actually out-rebounded, did Austin Spurs in that quarter of San Lorenzo. What might be surprising is that San Lorenzo are the team that have the 24 fast break points compared to 11 for Austin Spurs. And also San Lorenzo getting 26 points from the bench to just 15 for Austin Spurs. So, but a little bit of hope. You know, you watched how that third quarter finished. If maybe they could come out and get a couple of stops, hit a couple of threes, something they haven't really done, shoot the ball well, and get it back down to a 10-point game, it'll be game on. At least they scored the last couple of baskets of that very poor quarter when they gave up 31 points. Of course, the play that really kind of rocked them was Calfany catching the ball on the low block, and he faced the double team. He kind of spun to his right and delivered a perfect bounce pass to Joel Anthony, who came in from the right and just dunked it. And that led to an Austin timeout. And then coming out of the timeout, I think that was the timeout, or maybe that wasn't from that specific timeout, but then coming out of another timeout, Austin turned the ball over. And then with Sims coming in and getting the steal, and ended up hitting a three-pointer. So it was a really poor quarter for Austin. We'll see how much they're going to put into it here in the fourth quarter. Mata for three. He was open and missed it. Bookert brings it forward. The Alaskan hands it off to McCamey, the Illinois native, played for the Illini. Here's McCamey. Now Bookert into Brima. And boy, nice kind of jump, hook, one-handed shot. I don't know what you'd call that. It wasn't a pure hook from Brima, but it's a 14-point game now. Tucker Goes to the lane and gets blocked by Brima. He must average 6 blocks a game. Brima has just been terrific with his swats. This is Booker being fouled by Aguirre. And Jordan Green scores right at the line, and now it's a 12-point game, folks. Don't go away. Austin's starting to look like they've got the bit between the teeth, but they need to get a stop here. They need to keep the momentum going. They don't want to have it snapped with a three-pointer or an easy shot. Aguirre drives in. Beautiful pass back to Joel Anthony. Brima was moving in to position to send the ball up into row H, and Aguirre very cleverly passed it back. Now Brima goes in and answers immediately. It's been a different Austin team here in the fourth quarter. It's been one of their best 2 minutes of spells of play that we've seen in this FIBA Intercontinental Cup. And now a charge has been called. Or an offensive foul, rather, on Mata. A basket here would get it to 10, maybe even 9 if it's a 3. McCamey, I'm not sure what he was doing. Was that a pass? Fortunately for Spurs, they've kept the ball. Green gets it back to Brima. Now McCamey. McCamey drives in, hangs in the air. And now an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on McCamey, and Calfany gets up, takes exception. A little bit of frustration there perhaps from McCamey. Watch this. Well, he went for the ball. Referee saw it. He got him square right on the face with his right hand. Well, it was an excessive foul, so Calfany will go to the line. Well, whether you like it or not, it certainly seems to have an added edge to the game right now. So McCamey goes out. Richard Bader comes back into the game. And Calfany takes the shot and makes the first one. So with the unsportsmanlike foul, you get the 2 free throws. And then possession. And both are made by Calfany. Calfany passes it, and Brima gets the block. I thought it was on the way down. Another block by Brima, and another basket now for Austin Spurs, who seem to have been sparked a little bit by this unsportsmanlike foul. And now the ball goes off the hands of Joel Anthony. Bookert has it. He's going to pull up for 3. And that was long. Aguirre. Booker disappointed. He missed that three. He knows that would have got it to single digits. Now Houston is going to check back in. Booker goes out. Aguirre from the right. Excuse me, from the corner. Kobe with the rebound. Well, certainly seems to be open now for an Austin comeback. See if they get something going to the basket again. It's going to be Green. So 10 seconds on the shot clock. Good job by Calfany to block the shot. And it's going to be Green missing from the baseline. And then Kobe reaches in and commits the foul on Calfany, who takes another shot to the head. Watch this. Kobe was going for the ball. Calfany's been a very good player in South America, also playing for Uruguay's national team. And inside, good block from Brima, but I think a foul's been called. Woo! Boy, it's been a block party tonight, but Brima, unfortunately for him, called for the foul there. He makes that first one. But not the second. Just checking to see with Uruguay's situation with the World Cup qualifiers coming up. Eustace, because Calfany will play for Uruguay. This is Brima, guarded by Anthony. Later back to Eustace. Sens has it taken away. Now it's Eustace that has it. Bader for three. Good! Oh boy, how nice it is to see that fly in from long range. And San Lorenzo called timeout. Got to keep shooting them. It might not be going in, but if you're a shooter, you got to keep putting them in. Got to keep putting them up. There's Calfany there. Speaking of Calfany and playing for Uruguay, they'd secure a spot in the World Cup with a win against Puerto Rico in Group E. But a win against Mexico would suffice if they win the tiebreaker against Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico also lose to Argentina. So they're still in the hunt. They could also end up being the best fourth place team in the Americas qualifying. So obviously that has nothing to do with the Intercontinental Cup, but they will be joining their national teams almost immediately after this. And we've got game on here. Just feel like this Austin Spurs team making a nice little run, giving themselves a chance for an improbable comeback because they looked dead in the water late in the third quarter. They trailed by as many as 20 points. Right now it's back to 10. And Austin, again, with that unsportsmanlike foul was called on McCamey. Seemed to really fire up his teammates. Aguirre. Another fake. And they get to Sims. And he was fouled by Bader. Sims goes out and Tucker comes back in. Tucker's got 14 points to lead all San Lorenzo scoring. Mata drives in. Joel Anthony there for the follow, but Kobe did a good job knocking away, but still it ends up back with San Lorenzo. And then Anthony misses, and Bader flies in and is fouled by Aguirre. Four fouls on Aguirre. Jordan Green with 4:40 to go. Clock not quite the enemy yet, so it's not that far off from being the enemy. And now you could almost say it is the enemy. After that miss, Tucker bumped, and he will go to the free throw line. Yep, he was fouled by Brima. Nope, he was also fouled by Bader. They both got him. First one goes in for Tuck. So back to an 11-point lead with 4:21 to go. Yeah, sure, there's plenty of time, but don't forget Austin struggled to put the ball in the basket in this tournament, although this fourth quarter they've been pretty good. They've scored 11 points in this quarter. So need to get something here. Bader launches it. And somehow he got the pass, did Tucker to Anthony, and then Anthony was able to scramble and get it back. Brian McCall for another foul. Could have called it on Bader because he was reaching up. No, they called it on Bader, in fact. I think he's fouled out of the game. Yeah, so Bader's gone. And that brings Bookert back into the contest. So looking at Brima there, he's not had a bad afternoon. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, plus 18 efficiency. He's got the highest efficiency on his team. And in fact, Calfany has the highest efficiency of everybody. He's got 8 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. Tucker, meanwhile, has a game-high 16 points now. He's got 17 points. Three and a half minutes to go. Brima gets it to Eustace. Eustace fades back. Brima going up and fouled by Calfany. Eustace opened, but misses, and now Aguirre, and coming up on the 3-minute mark, and it's a 13-point deficit. San Lorenzo looking to lower the boom here. Mata behind the back pass. Oh, that was sweet, wasn't it? Almost effortlessly scored. Beautiful, slick behind the back pass by Mata. Kobe from the left corner. And Jordan Green fouled by Calfany. Well, Green certainly comes out of this game with some credit today. I mean, not only has he scored points, but he's been focused. This is that one. He's also got 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Pass whipped over to Aguirre. Rims out. Anthony with the board. Tucker waits for Green to go flying past and then hits the three-pointer. That might just about done it. 20 points. The game high going to Tucker, and it's back to a 17-point lead. Eustace. Well, they made it interesting here in the fourth quarter. They got it back to 10 points, but it's not been a comeback that they could complete. Kobe has it. And Kobe's pass goes out of bounds. So San Lorenzo closing in on third place in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup with a big double-digit lead right now on this Austin Spurs team. Passing it around, Aguirre knocks in the three-pointer, takes it up to a 20-point lead. Flamingo fans starting to pile into the arena now for the final. They're the hosts. Three-point attempt from Mata, no good. and play out the final 30 seconds of the game where San Lorenzo will be deserving winners. Great effort by Joel Anthony coming out and kind of setting the tone defensively. Once again, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks for him. Nice job hanging in the air there by Jordan Green. So that should be it. I'd be surprised if we saw another shot attempted here. So 77-59, San Lorenzo are going to win. And the coaches shake hands. That's it. So good job. It's been a tough weekend really for Austin Spurs, losing twice. But the San Lorenzo team at least redeemed themselves a little bit today, bouncing back from a heavy defeat to Ike to win 77-59 over Austin Spurs. I don't know why we didn't see, just saw Maverick Rowan for a minute today. Anyway, 10 threes for San Lorenzo in the end, just 3 for Austin. That was arguably their Achilles heel. They just couldn't put the ball in the basket, probably for 7 quarters of their 8 quarters here. They actually did a better job on the boards in the second half. But San Lorenzo, you can see they were really passing the ball well, had far more assists. And Tucker finished with 20 points. Calfany, probably you'd have to say, was overall, well, he and Anthony. Matta was pretty solid as well, playing under control. He was only 4 of 13 from the floor, Matta. But look, he had 3 steals to go with his 8 points. And Calfany was active again in many categories. 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks to go with his 8 points. And that was the play there that really kind of let this Austin team know that they were up against it. They called the timeout after that. Look at this, the bounce pass. I mean, the defense, there's just a little bit of confusion in the ranks there. And then this happened. Consecutive swats on the fast break opportunity. Green came out today and had some fine moments. He led his team with 18 points. Those are 2 of them. Anthony was just terrific. Nice over-the-shoulder pass, that time by Aguirre. Pretty crafty with his passing, Aguirre. He ended up today with 7 assists. That was a game-high 7 assists, Aguirre. Now here's one where Austin got the 3-pointer, and it looked like they might just get back into the game. But in the end, San Lorenzo just had too much. So 77-59, San Lorenzo win it over Austin Spurs here in the third place game at the FIBA Intercontinental Cup in Rio de Janeiro. So there will be a third place. They're going to receive an honor for having finished third. And remember, this is a competition that they're looking to build, get stronger. And so it's a good honor here for the San Lorenzo team to get third place, to get on the podium, so to speak, of the 4 teams. Patrick Caminos, the CEO of the Basketball Champions League, is there, as well as Horacio Moratori, the FIBA president, who's in front, who comes from Argentina.
Please welcome the referee, senhoras e senhores. Chamamos os árbitros, Mr. Omar Bermudez from Mexico, Mr. Boris Grechik from Slovenia, Mr. Karsten Straub from Germany, and Mr. Cristiano Maranhão do Brasil.
So good job for the referees, getting some recognition today.
Ladies and gentlemen, to present the award for the team classified at the 4th position, please welcome, para presentear agora, para dar o prêmio para o 4º colocado, senhoras e senhores, convidamos Mr. Dave Dorfman, J-League Director of Basketball Operations, and Mr. Andy Birdsong, General Manager of Austin Spurs. Ladies and gentlemen,
So the organizers doing a good job here, having the award presentation.
Intercontinental Cup 2019. Senhoras e senhores, chamamos agora a equipe 4ª colocada, Austin.
Brima. Boy, he got in there and really battled and protected that rim. So
Para entregar as medalhas de bronze, convidamos o senhor Mr. Fabian Porro, President of the Argentinian Basketball League.
So now the San Lorenzo team will be recognized with their third place medals, president of the Argentinian League.
Welcome the winner of the third place game of the FIBA Intercontinental Cup 2019. Senhoras e senhores, chamamos agora para pegar as medalhas de bronze a equipe de São Lorenzo.
Been talking a lot about Joel Anthony, but you just have to really applaud him. I mean, he's just an outstanding player to watch. The effort that he puts in. Obviously, Tucker and Calfany as well, just a really hard worker. So they'll be happy to leave with a medal. And then we'll have start getting ready as well for the final after this one. But here they are. They're going to embrace. And again, it's always better to leave. It's always better to leave on the back of a win. And they've done that, and they'll take a little bit of momentum with them as they go back to Argentina to play in the domestic league as well as the Direct TV Liga de las Americas. So I guess you'd say congratulations to them for getting the win today, Gonzalo Garcia. Make sure those coaches and physios and what have you, staff don't get bowled over there. So that's it, folks. 77-59, San Lorenzo claimed third place at the FIBA Intercontinental Cup. The victory over the Austin Spurs.
Muy bienvenidos los hermanos de la Argentina del San Lorenzo en Río de Janeiro, Brasil. Gracias, muchas gracias.